Hello everyone, and welcome to our European webinar on HikCentral Professional 3.0.1. Massive scale cluster architecture meets large language model, which we'll call LLM, powered AcuSeek unified dashboard. I'm Mark Buckland, the Business Development Manager at Hikvision Europe. Today, I'm going to walk you through how HikCentral has evolved with version 3.0.1. Introducing cluster architecture for massive scale and AcuSeek with large language model, LLM. To give you the unified dashboard insights across different modules, we'll also overview the main functionalities and module updates within this new version. On this slide, you can see the structure for our webinar today. First, we'll walk through the HikCentral Professional growth journey so you understand how we got here. Next, under What's New, we'll cover three key areas: the cluster architecture introduction, the LLM-Powered AcuSeek unified search portal, and the main module and functionality updates within 3.0. Finally, we'll wrap with an operation demo showcasing the AcuSeek and the main updates live. As you can see, HikCentral Professional has come a long way from its early versions to today's 3.0.1. It's evolving from basic video and access control integration into a full-scale security management platform. Started in Q4 2025, the latest update introduces AcuSeek. Powered by large language and multimodal models, it can understand more flexible and highly accurate natural language input. For example, person with red bag near East Gate. And it delivers the unified, consolidated results across multiple modules and applications like video, access control, visitor logs, entrance and exit, facial recognition, all within one single intuitive search portal. Combined with the massive scale cluster architecture introduced in version 3, this delivers enterprise level performance, resilience and high streaming load capacity, ideal for super large central site management and deployments. Now let's start with the cluster architecture introduction, where I'll walk you through how the system scales, manages redundancy, and ensures failover reliability. As we move into large-scale central management scenarios, think retail chains, multi-branch banking, large community estates, we often encounter a common set of challenges. First, the issue of centralized control. All devices and video feeds are managed from one central server. How do we scale that up without one central server becoming a bottleneck? Second, stability. When you have massive numbers of devices, channels and video streams, can the system run reliably with minimal downtime or failures? Third, live view performance suffers if too many channels are pulled simultaneously. Operators expect smooth, responsive streaming, even under load. Fourth, data scale. Every video channel, every event, every alarm generates logs and history. Record keeping becomes huge, so all operations become stressed. That's where the cluster architecture in HikCentral Professional 3.0 steps in. Let's take a closer look at the details on the next slide. On this slide, you can see how the cluster architecture in HikCentral Professional version 3 is laid out, and how each component plays a part in enabling large-scale, resilient, high-performance central management. First, the scale-out principle. Multiple multi-purpose servers are working together under one master node physically. They're all on the same LAN within the central site. The architecture separates roles, so capacity and complexity are handled without overwhelming a single box. To break down the parts, 1. Resource server clusters, encoding devices and CTV devices. The master server delegates CCTV management to a cluster of resource servers. These resource servers handle encoding devices, CCTV, video streams, etc., acting like a resource group, while the master server manages other device categories, except the CCTV. You can scale this resource servers cluster up to 5 members, allowing support for up to 50,000 video channels and about 55,000 total devices. 2. Failover and redundancy. Failover is built in on multiple levels. For the master server, the ROS replicator is still the hot standby, ready to take over if the master fails. Within the resource servers cluster, there is a 1N+M host standby scheme. N, active resource servers, with M, reserve servers that can take over if any of the N fails. So we have both vertical and horizontal redundancy. 3, smooth streaming and load balancing. A single streaming server with 4 1 gigabit per second network cards can aggregate up to 2,000 megabits per second in and out. A 10 gigabits per second NIC version can push 4,000 megabits per second. More than that, you can also build one separate cluster of up to 32 streaming servers, each up to 600 megabits per second. Within this cluster, load balancing is still there. When you add one server, it automatically joins the load balancing algorithm and shares streams to maintain the smooth performance. 4, storage scaling. The architecture also separates out the database server. The system supports being able to store and search over 1 billion records, which is sufficient for about 3 years of historical data. We haven't forced everything into clustering. On this slide, you can see the alternative standalone deployment mode in 3.0 is still there, which mirrors how version 2 was deployed, that all multipurpose servers are combined into one physical server or machine. But don't let standalone fool you into thinking it's low scale. 3.0 standalone mode, the capacity has still been significantly increased, now supporting up to 20,000 video channels and 10,000 encoding devices. So the message here is, for 3.0 at central site management scenario, you get the best of both worlds. If your deployment doesn't yet demand clustering, you can still stick with the familiar all-in-one approach and get a much greater scale ceiling than before. When your needs grow, you can always move into cluster mode. On this slide, we're comparing core system specs across version 2, version 3, and the version 3 cluster architecture. In version 2, it was limited to 10,000 video channels and 5,000 devices on one single server. With 3, standalone, we've doubled that ceiling, 20,000 video channels and 10,000 devices, thanks to the upgraded architecture and optimizations. So the takeaway? Version 3 gives you headroom in standalone mode already, while cluster mode unlocks truly enterprise level scale, resilience and throughput. On this slide, you can see how we position our hardware offerings according to the different project scales. One size doesn't fit all. We offer dedicated servers and workstations tailored to both the scale and topology of your project. For small to medium projects, up to 128 channels, we offer an all-in-one workstation model. You've got the server and client running on the same machine, preloaded with the licenses and HikCentral software. Plug and play. We also provide a raw tower client PC dedicated to client operator use. As your project grows from 64 up to 20,000 channels, we provide raw servers for multipurpose, such as failover or streaming servers or all-in-one servers with similar licensed preloaded logic as per the workstation module. For the super large projects where cluster architecture comes into play, we have selected some dedicated raw servers capable of stable and decent operation with resilience and high streaming load capacity. Next, let's dive into HikCentral Professional AcuSeek, the unified search portal powered by LLM. It can not only achieve text-to-image search, which is relying on the IV Pro and the DeepInMind recorder capabilities, but also HikCentral Professional's own LLM multimodal AI enables the central system to search consolidated data and records across multiple modules, all within one intuitive search interface. Let's walk through the evolution of Hikvision's video search capabilities. We started with Smart Search, where users could draw a rule box in a defined area to filter out video segments with human or vehicle activity. That was a big step up from the brute force scrubbing. Then we advanced to AcuSearch, not that long ago. This now lets you retrieve all videos of a specific object, leveraging the deep learning analytics and comparison of visual features. That improved precision and speed. Now we've reached AcuSeek, powered by LLM to deliver the context-aware and natural language text search capability. Unlike the previous slide, where natural language text search relied on IV Pro or Deep in Mind recorders, let's take a look at HikCentral Professional's LLM-Powered AcuSeek unified search portal, a major leap beyond recorder-based capabilities. HikCentral Professional 3.0.1 firstly aggregates and consolidates data from all the front-end devices and recorders, whether AcuSeek capable recorders, Deep in Mind recorders, standard CCTV, access control, visitor systems, parking devices. From there, HikCentral Professional's own LLM, which empowers more flexible, accurate natural language input, it doesn't just find matching video via text, it searches across fused module data, entrance-exit logs, access control records, face captures, ANPR, and more. All results are shown in one unified, intuitive dashboard. Imagine typing, "Please find marked records today." The system will return marked trajectories across multiple module systems, the CCTV, access doors, parking entries, all correlated and visualized in one view. That's the power of unified search in AcuSeek. Let me guide you through what you see here. This is the AcuSeek Unified Search Portal in action, built to centralize, fuse and visualize data across modules around a person or vehicle of interest. For example, you enter, "Help me find John Herry" in the search portal. Instantly, AcuSeek retrieves not only video footage showing John, but also his access records, license plate matches, visitor logs, and movement trajectory, all in the one intuitive interface. On the left panel, you see basic information, link information, and credential information, things like a person's name, linked vehicle, card IDs, and so on. These are all aggregated from the access control, the visitor, the parking, and the credential modules. In the centre, the main dashboard shows related records of the person, and below it a timeline of events, parking records, entry and exit logs, face captures, etc. These are all correlated and sorted by time. Basically, from one query, you can get a complete narrative, who the person is, where they moved, what events are linked, and the related vehicle or visitor data. Apart from what we covered on the last slide, the AcuSeek Unified Search Portal delivers even more. The basic text search capability from IV Pro and Deep in Mind recorders is fully supported. You can input a natural language phrase, "person in white clothes," and the recorder's multimodal AI will still find a match in frames. Once the target's found, the portal can trigger the AcuSearch functionality to collect all the videos of that object across your site. So in short, the AcuSeek Unified Search Portal combines recorder text search and full object recovery via AcuSearch, all layered within a cross-module data fusion, all within one seamless user interface. It's the path from recorder analytics to centralized intelligence. On this slide, we're outlining the hardware choices available when delivering HikCentral Professional AcuSeek Unified Search Portal. The key distinction is between devices that have built-in AcuSeek and those that don't, and how you can integrate both. On the left side, you can see the devices with built-in AcuSeek. These include the IV Pro, Deep in Mind Pro, and the Fusion Server Ultra. These data and frames are natively processed by AcuSeek's multimodal AI intelligence, giving you the seamless integration, lower latency, and optimal support for the unified search. On the right side are devices without built-in AcuSeek, regular cameras, access control units, ANPR, parking systems, face body recognition cameras, and visitor devices. Though they lack the native AcuSeek processing, their video and record data are still aggregated and consolidated into the unified search engine once ingested. Essentially, you can choose a front-end ecosystem that is AcuSeek native for the maximum efficiency, but even if your devices don't support AcuSeek natively, they're not left behind. They still feed into HikCentral, and their records are searchable through the unified portal. Next, we'll play a short promotion video introducing the AcuSeek Unified Search Portal. Here we showcase real-world application scenarios for AcuSeek's unified search portal. In factories, you can detect workers entering restricted zones without helmets. In malls, you can spot strangers in unauthorised areas. Business parks locate the vehicles by their attributes. Supermarkets recover lost items like handbags. In office parks, monitor the entry-exit via access logs. And in parking lots, trace the vehicle movements by licence plate or passing records. These device use cases show how AcuSeek can logically track records across modules, all within one intuitive interface. Now we've introduced cluster architecture and HikCentral Professional AcuSeek, let's turn to the main module updates and new functionalities session. The first main functionalities update is third-party integration enhancements. We now support native third-party device SDK integration for Dahua, Hanwha and Axis, controlled via one single license called VSS1 channel/third. Second, the open API capability has been greatly expanded. Our integration APIs are now more flexible and powerful, enabling both inbound and outbound interaction applications. Third, beyond SDKs and APIs, HikCentral supports more industrial standard protocols such as SIA, BACnet, Modbus, allowing seamless connectivity with industrial automation, building management, alarm systems and more. Together these enhancements make HikCentral much more open and ready to work in a complex ecosystem. Let's take a closer look at the native device SDK integration with Dahua, Axis and Hanwha. Now HikCentral speaks directly to these three vendors' private protocols, unlocking richer features and compatibility than standard OnViv. You can see broader support across device types, DVRs, NVRs, IP cameras, hybrid devices, whatever your deployment requires. The next functionality update is that the live view interface within HikCentral Professional now supports visual tracking directly in the live feed. No need to switch into one separate visual tracking window as before. While tracking is active, all the standard camera operations remain available. PTZ control, fisheye view, smart search, AcuSearch, etc. You get the full suite of CCTV controls in one seamless interface. Here we spotlight a powerful new capability, active deterrence via LiveGuard cameras, with both visual and auditory control directly from your monitoring interface. During real-time monitoring, you can trigger or disable an audio alarm and likewise trigger or disable a strobe light, either in the live view window or via the EMAP interface. That means immediate response, see something, do something, all from your monitoring console. Furthermore, we've extended the event and alarm module with two new alarm linkage actions, trigger audio alarm and trigger strobe light. This lets you flexibly configure how alarms behave, what outputs fire under what conditions. Together these enhancements turn passive observation into active control, enabling operators to intervene in real time. Here you see our add-on plugin module showcase, covering baseline, industrial and regional modules available for download from our website. From version 2.5 onwards, HikCentral Professional has adopted one complete modular architecture. With these independent add-on modules highlighted in red on the right, they can be developed and released on its own timelines, not necessarily tied to main HikCentral version upgrades. Many of these modules originate from earlier custom projects used in industrial and vertical deployments. Over time, more and more of these innovative and vertical add-ons are being brought into this modular ecosystem, giving you flexibility and pick and choose capability as per your needs. Now let's zoom into some of our innovative industrial add-ons. For logistic use cases, we support parcel tracking, where you can retrieve and verify video of any scanned parcel. For dock management, we can monitor and validate loading or unloading status via the video clips. We'd also like to introduce our newly released add-on, Reguard, the Alarm Receiving Centre for version 3. It provides a professional dashboard for alarm handling and flexible SOPs for operators, standard operating procedures for operators. This add-on provides one professional dashboard dedicated to alarm handling, where operators can see all the detailed alarm information, including time, location and status associated with the different sites and properties. It also supports linkage videos and precise location display on GIS or static maps. Most importantly, it comes with flexible standard SOPs, helping ARC operators follow clear, consistent workflows for both daily and holiday handling scenarios. Overall, it brings structure, efficiency and professionalism to alarm response operations. Another key feature of this Alarm Receiving Centre add-on is its intelligent alarm distribution engine, designed to flexibly deliver alarms to operators in different scenarios. It supports dynamic distribution to balance workloads, auto-forwarding to avoid unattended alarms. Also provides site-specific distribution, so alarms from the same location are assigned to one operator for higher efficiency. Although altogether, this engine optimises efficiency and ensures alarms are always handled promptly and professionally.
Now that we've covered all three key parts of the What's New session, before we move on to the final demo, I would like to be clear. Any new licenses tied to 3.0.1 features and modules, such as Cluster, HikCentral AcuSeek Unified Search Portal, etc., should be coordinated through your regional Hikvision business unit's product management team, because product and licensing strategies vary by country.
And now, on to the demonstration.
Basic AcuSeek text search based on IV Pro and DPMind recorders. First, you'll need an AcuSeek license. Customers can check with their regional Hikvision team for quotations and support. You might notice one enable button in the interface. That activates HikCentral's large language model. Once enabled, it enhances flexibility and broadens the understanding of text input on top of the basic AcuSeek text search capability, powered by IV Pro and DPMind recorders. The basic AcuSeek text search can handle a wide range of objects: a person's face, full bodies, vehicle appearances, not license plates, and non-vehicle objects such as motorbikes, animals, livestock and more. For example, in the demo we might search for person walking wearing a white top, then white car turning, or grey car moving. This shows how natural language, or LLM, helps narrow down those searches. It's not bringing up just grey cars, they have to be moving. You can click any snapshot to pull up a short video clip, and you can check the camera's geographical location. You can also try searching for bicycles, perhaps change the date range of the search. Here we can test different language inputs. We've previously saved in our favourites as this is a demo, but you could just type straight into the search bar. HikCentral Professional own LLM-Powered AcuSeek Unified Search Portal. To deliver HikCentral's professional own LLM-Powered AcuSeek to search data across multiple modules, you must first enable the LLM tick button. Once enabled, your text input will be interpreted by HikCentral Professional with greater flexibility and broader understanding, allowing you to search across fused cross-module data in the HikCentral Foundational database. For example, using basic AcuSeek text search, I've found hundreds of captured person images, and I've narrowed in on Carl Zhang. Now with the unified portal, I can query all records relating to Carl Zhang across monitored sites, leveraging the Hikvision Internet of Things, or IoT devices, and HikCentral Professional. You'll see his basic information, access control logs, vehicle entry-exit records, vehicle passing records, parking data, visitor logs, all centralised in one dashboard. Most importantly, I can trace his trajectory on a map by linking all the related IoT devices and their geolocations. Next, general visual tracking. The live view interface in HikCentral Professional now supports visual tracking directly in the live feed, no longer needing to jump into a separate visual tracking window. As you can see in our Netherlands office demo, 2 wide view cameras have been linked as tracking points, and all camera operation icons remain available when switching views between them. We have one ANPR camera monitoring the road, and it's also overlaid on the main view, contributing to the tracking. Once visual tracking is completed, the full tracking feed can be saved and exported independently.
Thank you for watching this webinar. Please continue asking your questions in the chat. Thank you.